Recently, I decided to go on a solo camping trip in the deep woods. I wanted to escape the hustle and bustle of city life and find some peace in nature. But this trip turned out to be anything but peaceful. I arrived at my campsite in the early afternoon. The sun was shining and the birds were singing. It was the perfect day for camping. I set up my tent, built a small fire, and started cooking dinner. I felt relaxed and happy. After a long day, I decided it was time to sleep. I crawled into my tent, zipped it up, and lay down on my sleeping bag. I closed my eyes, listening to the soothing sounds of the forest. But then I heard something, a rustling sound. I sat up, my heart starting to beat faster. I listened closely, thinking it might be a deer or a raccoon, but the sound grew louder, closer. My heart pounded in my chest. I grabbed my flashlight and unzipped the tent, peering into the darkness. I couldn't see anything, just the shadows of trees. The rustling stopped. I told myself it was just an animal and went back inside the tent. As I lay back down, I heard a low growl. This was no deer. My mind raced. What kind of animal was out there? I decided to stay alert, holding my flashlight tightly. Minutes felt like hours as I sat in my tent, listening. The growling sound stopped, and everything went silent. Too silent. I knew something wasn't right. Suddenly, a loud thud hit the side of my tent. I jumped, my flashlight beam shaking. I shouted, "Who's there?" But there was no response, only silence. Then I heard heavy breathing. It was right outside my tent. My hands trembled as I held the flashlight. I needed to see what it was. Summoning all my courage, I unzipped the tent just enough to shine the light outside. The flashlight beam cut through the darkness, revealing nothing. I couldn't see anything unusual. The heavy breathing stopped, and the forest was silent again. I started to think I was imagining things. Maybe I was just tired. But then I heard whispering, faint, eerie whispers. They seemed to come from all around me. My fear turned into panic. I decided I couldn't stay there any longer. I quickly packed my things, constantly looking over my shoulder. The whispering continued, growing louder and more insistent. As I stepped out of my tent, I heard footsteps. They were slow, deliberate, and getting closer. I turned, my flashlight shaking, but I saw nothing. The whispers turned into a single word, repeated over and over: leave. I didn't need to be told twice. I ran. I ran as fast as I could, not caring about the darkness or the rough terrain. The whispers followed me, echoing through the trees. Leave, leave, leave. I reached my car, fumbling with the keys in my trembling hands. I finally got the door open, jumped in, and locked the doors. The whispering stopped. The forest was silent once more. I started the car and drove away, not looking back. I didn't stop until I reached the safety of my home. To this day, I don't know what I encountered in those woods. Was it a wild animal, a ghost, or just my imagination? I may never know, but one thing is certain: I never went camping alone again. Remember, when you venture into the unknown, you might just encounter something that you can't explain. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more spine-chilling tales. Sleep tight, if you can.